Well, once again, it's a good morning to you and welcome to Breakfast Extra. My name is Emmanuel Bagudu. Now, it's Saturday and we have important conversations lined up this morning. We begin in Southern Kaduna with a very big report here where communities are challenging official accounts of recent church attacks. While police figures remain low, residents insist that over 163 people were abducted. We examine the gap between official statements and lived realities and why truth and trust matters in responding to insecurity. Then to Rivers State, where the impeachment crisis involving Governor Siminalayi Fubara remains unresolved after a court adjourned the case indefinitely. We ask what this delay means for governance, accountability and political stability in the South. We also turn to youth and politics as questions grow over why Nigeria's young people remain underrepresented in real power despite their numbers and energy. And still ahead, with 2027 approaching, we examine calls to amend the Electoral Act, focusing on gaps exposed in the last elections and what must change to restore confidence in the ballot. Also, we'll take you to Badagry on Waka Waka World today as we explore Nigeria's growing influence on global English in our extra special, and also close the focus on Africa, where we unpack Africa's role and leverage in global conversations from Davos, like we've just heard from inside of our monologue. That's our package for today, so do stay tuned for all the conversations. Now, let's go straight into our very first major big report in Kaduna. Tell you what, let's start it the right way. Now on Breakfast Extra this morning, we turn to Southern Kaduna, where grief has turned into anger. Communities say the story told by security agencies does not match what they lived through. While police insist only a handful were taken, residents say more than 163 people were abducted during coordinated attacks on churches and villages. Now, this is not just about numbers, it's about truth, it's about trust and whether the state is listening to those under fire. So we had our correspondent out in the affected communities to verify claims, speak to survivors, and examine the gaps between official statements and the local accounts. What he found raises serious questions about reporting, response time, and also accountability. Here's our special report by Emmanuel Bagudu.
Okay, can you escape here? Suka kore so koma da mu wasu kananan yara sun kore ku sofofi sun ce mu koma gida so kuna da yawa kenan.
Victims of Sunday's church attacks confirmed their ordeal, describing abductions and terror inflicted by armed assailants. Many expressed anger after local officials initially denied the attacks.
When they are coming, people run out from the church, they come break the door. The people will remain inside the yeah. Yes. See the way they scatter everything, our instrument, they scatter everything. Even the thing where we harvest keep inside the church, they scatter everything, they boss. This is the
for what they go a local government chairman sent to the media. It surprised me. If not the will of God, I have died this morning. Because
what did he send to the media?
He said, "What? There's nothing happened here. Nothing happened. Where the news
it's fake.
It's fake.
What he says is fake news. Is it fake news? Confirm. Is it fake news?
He said, not. It is a reality. I'm telling you.
You are a victim, sir. You are kidnapped.
Government is Sudobemu. Organization Sudobemu. Even the world at large. They should assist us because we are in a very, very critical condition. We don't have food.
That total number that kidnapping, number
167, but 11 escaped.
Out of 167, am I not saying 11?
Yes, sir.
Am I not saying 11?
We now we have 166 people.
The government not population list, Baba.
No. We are just telling. They are just telling people lies. Yes, sir.
Lies, go.
I'm telling you.
Lies.
We have 166 people inside bush.
Inside bush.
We don't know the condition they are.
Residents provided details of the attack while showing journalists around the 3 churches targeted by the assailant.
Ni na yi kokari ne na kubuta a cikin hannunsu, amma ga inda ma aka sa mutane nan sun zauna flat a kasa before aka sa su.
Some families have already decided to relocate to Makeli for safety.
Wallahi ana kwashe mana su ne. Suna kwace su, suna zuwa suna kwashe kayan.
Su waye?
Su bandage. Shi yasa ba mu da abinci, shi yasa mun kwashe mun kawo mu boye kayan.
There's banditries. They are disturbing. They have no right to keep something in your room. They don't have something. That very day they collected my phone and my money that I have. Last 2 weeks they kidnapped my children and my wife. The second week they kidnapped me. How can I live here?
They kidnap you?
Yeah, of course. I'm among them.
Yeah, can I escape?
Yeah, I escaped from the road.
I'm kidnapping family.
Then my wife has come back and my child is there too. Now.
How many children?
There are 3.
They are with them?
Of course, plus my neighbor. I cannot live here.
Ni dai yanayin da mun riga mun shiga wahala kuma wannan ya zama mun kamar na yi mutuwa ne inda ban samu wani assistant wanda an sama wannan garin ba ni gaskiya zan bar garin nan wahalar bandits nan yanda suna takura mu ba dama mu je gona mu yi noma ba dama kuma in samu abin da zan ce da yara na ma na kasa in sa su a makarantu.
Uncertainty dominates Kurminwali as residents struggle to recover and wonder about the safety of those left behind. In Kurminwali, Kaduna State, Emmanuel Bagudu, News Central.
Report there by Emmanuel Bagudu, who joins us now on Zoom. Emmanuel, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a very interesting story that you tell there in that report. In fact, I was here with my mouth agape as I listened to one of the victims say that his child is still in the bush with the culprits. Emmanuel, but first of all, tell us exactly where this is and what the situation was upon your arrival.
Well, thank you so much. It was a situation of, playing with the lives of people, talking about the earlier denial by the Kaduna State government via its Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, and of course the Kaduna State Commissioner of Police, and then of course the local government chairman of Kajuru. So it was an issue they wanted to, sweep under the carpet, but of course, local media was silent, but we international media we couldn't be silent because we know our routes and we were able to get the details and force the government to come out to say the truth. So that was Kurminwali. Kurminwali is located on the Kaduna Kafanchan Highway in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State. And of course, on Sunday, 18th of January, terrorists surrounded 3 churches, CNS1, CNS2, and of course, Equa Church, where they abducted 177 persons, out of which 11 escaped. So we have a total of 166 currently in the forest with the terrorists, calling for help. And the Kaduna State government have responded and have retracted their statement, apologizing to the people that they will do everything possible to bring back their loved ones back to them in Kurminwali. That was what really played out. That was what happened.
Okay, so thank you for that summary. I'm going to come back to talking about the details about who sent out the message, the false message, and how we got to the false numbers that were given or the fact that they said nothing actually happened. But I wanted to know how accessible this community is.
It is very accessible. It is very accessible. Funny enough, coincidentally enough, I first visited Kurminwali when I was around 6 years old, somewhere around 1991. Sorry, I'm telling my age in public. When I was an altar servant with a white priest that time, as a small boy, as a Catholic altar servant. So the community is very accessible, right? As I know it, I applied there.
So Emmanuel, we're not talking.
It has been very accessible.
So Emmanuel,
it's just 5 minutes. Yeah,
we're not talking about communities that are way out of, perhaps maybe away from major highways. This is like 6 kilometers from a major highway, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, just 6 kilometers. So that worries me because it seems like these bandits are beginning to come even, they're beginning to get more brazen and are coming out to these communities more and more now. But now let's talk about the information that was given by the local government chairman, according to one of the respondents that you spoke to just now on that report. What kind of information was passed, and why exactly do you think that the numbers were not correct? Why exactly do you think that it was told that nothing actually happened?
Okay, immediately the news broke out. the Commissioner of Police and the Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs swing into action. They went to the community. As far as they are concerned, they didn't see bullet holes. They didn't see houses burnt. They didn't see people, in disarray. So they assumed nothing happened. So they told the world that the community members were lying. And then allegedly, the local government chairman told the community not to say something happened. And of course, they went to the public, and then after a security meeting, they told the governor, allegedly they deceived the governor that it was fake news. So I think they have an excuse of making that fake news, and the excuse is just not enough. But that excuse is the fact that they didn't see anybody, they didn't see any. Normally, when there's an attack like this of that magnitude, you don't see houses being burnt, you never see bullet wounds, just like we have always shown in Katsina, Kano, and of course, Zampara, where you see bullet wounds and all that. But in this case, nobody was hurt, there was no gunshot. They just surrounded the community on gunpoint and then took 100 people away. So that was what prompted the Commissioner for Internal Security and, of course, Commissioner of Police to say that nothing happened, because there was no substantial evidence to actually prove that something happened. The only people that can actually say it happens were the community members who experienced it. So they wanted to undermine. They underestimated the power of Nigerian media, probably, and of course that of international media, that they can actually afford to actually sweep this story under the carpet. Nobody will know about it. But in terms of fact checking, you're talking about newsrooms that are very serious and that are very serious with this job. They have mobilize their correspondents, whatever it is, get to that community and tell us what really happened. And we want that within 5-6 hours. And we did that. And within 12 hours, the statement was retracted. And they confessed that actually they are the ones that actually gave the fake news, not the Nigerian media, not the international media. Yeah.
So I'm very glad that you actually were a part of that process to making them recant that statement about it not being real. But let's talk about the way this operation happened. This modus operandi seems very unlike, and you stated that yourself, very unlike what we see in other regions or other states or other places, even in Kaduna. You said it yourself. There would be burnt houses, there would be gunshot, evidence of gunshot, but this is very different. Does this point to perhaps maybe a different kind of bandits or group of bandits?
Yes, these terrorists are, learning new skills every day. This particular attack was surprising. Nobody was killed. Even the injuries were minor injuries. You've seen those injuries. They are minor injuries.
Bagudu, I am so sorry. Bagudu, I am so sorry. I'm going to have to take a break and come back to you. Do give me just a minute, and we'll be back to this conversation. To our viewers, do excuse us. My apologies. We'll be back after this with that comment from Emmanuel Bagudu on the situation in Kaduna. Welcome back, and it's still our first big report here for Breakfast Extra, where we're talking about instances in Southern Kaduna where communities have experienced abductions, and the reports vary from what the local authorities have reported to higher authorities. We have Emmanuel Bagudu, who was telling us from before about a question that I asked you, Emmanuel. I'm so sorry that I had to cut you for technical reasons there, but I had asked about the modus operandi of the operation here when it comes to this community and how it differs from what we see in other instances. So you were saying, Emmanuel?
Yes. So like I said, the modus operandi, just like you asked, is different this time around. It's no longer the issue of coming to burn houses. It's no longer a style of coming to shoot bullet guns on the walls of the houses. It's not an issue of shooting guns on the air. They just came in quietly. They knew that these people were having their church service around 9 a.m. They came and surrounded the 3 churches, which are just adjacent each other, not far from each other. And they created a particular space where they asked all of them to lie down on the floor. So it's no longer shooting. They didn't adopt the normal style of shooting on the air, normal style of hitting people. They didn't adopt that style. They only did that quietly in a very well calibrated manner so that nobody will even know what is happening. And that bush is so lonely. The environment is so lonely, no basic amenities, no, of course there are instances there. We were able to make phone calls there, we were able to do video chats there, but of course, in terms of trying to locate that community, in trying to even know what is happening in the community, you will not be able to know because it's a thick forest. So that not deceived the government, that deceived the Commissioner of Police, that misled the Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs. It also misled the local government chairman, Dr. Madaki, who was forced to believe that nothing happened. These things, there are no evidence to show that anything happened. So we are going to tell the world that it's fake news.
But what about the
But of
list?
course, the media have to just go and investigate and find out what really happened. You know, the media's investigation is all-encompassing. You won't just rely on details from the community. You also have to go to neighboring communities who have seen the exodus, the procession, the exit of these hostages and the terrorists. You have to be factual before you be able to, say the government is lying. Are you able to establish? We're able to establish that the government was lying, and they accepted they were lying, and they apologized, and they have started making moves to bring back these hostages back home.
So I saw a list there, and I'm wondering whether the authorities didn't see that list. Wasn't it put forward to them? How come? And then again, what about the local authorities there? Are there no police installations in that community?
Yes, it was admitted. It was admitted by the governor. The governor visited the community, Governor Obasani, after it was established that actually an attack happened. The governor visited the community and also admit that the community needs, first of all, an access road from that will connect to the expressway, which is 6 kilometers. And of course, the community needs a hospital. And of course, he promised that he would deliver that within the year. And of course, he's calling. The governor also admitted that just like you asked, there are no police outposts. There are no any military. The only thing you can find there is a military checkpoint, which is 6 kilometers from the express, which is located at the Kaduna Expressway. And of course, that's those, you can just see 3-4 soldiers, mounting a checkpoint at that entrance. So that is what the governor said, that he's calling on the chief of defense staff, who is from Kaduna State, to make it a haste and then create a command center or rather a theater command within that axis, because the terrorists actually living in Regina. They have taken over regional community. Regional community is located between the FCT and the Kaduna State border, very close to the Kaduna Abuja Expressway. So, but since the military have surrounded that particular area, they just remain inside the community and they go out there to harass vulnerable communities who are hard to reach. So, what the governor is saying is that if a theater command is established, that issue of regional will be taken care of completely, and that area will be completely. We're talking about 50 to 100 communities in between Kajuru, Kachia, and of course, Chikun local government. They are the ones suffering from those terrorists that are living around Regina. So the governor admitted that these things have to be put in place, police outposts, and of course, a military command center. Yeah.
Well, Emmanuel, I want to say thank you very much for bringing this report and, of course, seeing how it has affected change. I'm very glad that it was a News Central reporter that was at the helm of it. Thank you very much. And you know why this really hits home for me? That's because 3 months ago, I was on that highway. To think that somewhere on that highway, 6 kilometers away, is where this happened really worries me. But Emmanuel, thank you very much. Really appreciate your efforts here at News Central. Thank you.
Thank you.